Power Virtual Agents is a relatively new product. It just came out of its preview phase, so we're just beginning to tap its potential. Power Virtual Agents is used to create chatbots. So why do we use chatbots? First, chatbots allow you to focus your human resources on those interactions that require human decision-making by automating your simple common processes. If you have questions that are frequently asked or easy to answer, they can usually be asked and answered in chat. Chatbots can be available 24/7, allowing even relatively small organizations to extend the hours of their customer service for those customers who have computers and the internet and are willing to chat. That's an increasing number of us. So why create chatbots with Power Virtual Agents? Power Virtual Agent chatbots can be used in various platforms. For example, you can use a chatbot in Microsoft Teams. You can use a chatbot in Facebook. Any place that you would like to have the ability to have a natural language conversation with customers, with employees, whoever your target audience is, Power Virtual Agents can connect to your data versus your organizational data. For example, if a customer, internal or external, has a question about whether a product is available, you can have your chatbot check your inventory database, and you would do that using a workflow created with Power Automate. You can also take other actions using Power Automate. If, for example, one of your choices is an employee chat that allows employees to say, yes, I'd like to sign up for this program or benefit, you could have a workflow complete the sign-up action. Power Virtual Agents track their conversations, and there's artificial intelligence embedded in Power Virtual Agents. So the virtual agent is learning each time it's used, but you can also monitor and tweak your Power Virtual Agents to improve performance in the same way that learning human beings do. When you've had a conversation that's gone in the wrong direction based on an answer to a question, we learn how to adjust our answers or our questions, and you can make that same adjustment in your Power Virtual Agents. You access Power Virtual Agents either through Power Apps. And I'll show you where that is. Under Chatbots create, or you can go to powerva.microsoft.com, and you will end up here in Power Virtual Agents and immediately be able to create a new chatbot. As soon as you log into Power Virtual Agents, or PVA, you're automatically invited to create a new bot. I'm going to create a test bot. So I'm just going to call this my test bot. I'm asked to select a language. You don't get to change this language later. This is the language that the bot will recognize and will utilize with your users. So I'm going to choose English, and then you need to choose the environment where you want to store this bot. So if I want to use, for example, workflows that I create with Power Automate, if I want the bot to interact with AI that I create in Power Apps, I need to make sure all of those things are living in the same environment, which for me is my default environment. Let's click Create. There's some nice animation while Power Virtual Agents begins to create the bot. On the left-hand side, we see the navigation pane that we discussed earlier where we have Home, Topics, Entities, and so on. I have a notification that it could take up to 5 minutes to create this first bot frame for me. But in the meantime, I can chat with the test bot. I can trace my conversation and check out the topics that are here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to explore my bot so I can test it. I can say hello, and it's sending it, and I get a response. Hi, I'm a virtual agent. This is my bot that I'm creating right here if I look at topics. I have access to different types of topics that have been built in for me. There are lessons that you can use to build bots that have topics, conditions, and so on. You can either view those if you wish. They're a great way to extend your learning on Power Virtual Agents. If you don't want them to appear after you've used them, so to speak, you can turn them off. But then we have these system topics that are always on. And we actually just saw an example of the greeting topic, which was my initial conversation in the chat. I'm going to open this greeting topic so that you can see what it looks like. On the left-hand side, I have 52 trigger phrases. I can't edit these because this is a system topic. But on the left-hand side, here are all of the different words that PVA is looking for to know that it's a greeting, and it says that you have your bot or virtual agent introduce itself. There's also goodbye, which is the other end of greeting, and note that if I type, for example, goodbye, it's on the list of trigger phrases, and therefore we'll get a response back from the goodbye topic. And while I can't change the trigger phrase, I can change the message. If I go to click the Authoring Canvas button, this is the reply for goodbye and every variation of goodbye. So thanks for chatting with me. Hope to see you again soon. Bye. Cool, that's done. I'm going to save this. And note now that when I enter by, I get the revised message that I just edited. So for system topics, the built-in topics, you can't change the trigger phrases, but you can change the response messages using the authoring canvas. I'd like to create a new topic that's relevant to my organization. We have some logo or some swag that is available, and the new topic is going to be about sweatshirt colors. So I'm going to click New Topic, and the name is Sweatshirt Colors. Friendly name is Sweat Colors. Description is describe the available. Sweatshirt colors. Cool. So then how might your customers ask about this topic? So let me see brief phrases. What colors of sweatshirts do you have? You could just press enter to add. Sweatshirt colors. Now, people who have been working with chatbots for a while have realized that there are usually a mix of short and long triggers. And so you think, what's the least that I need to say? Shirt colors. I want a sweatshirt. And you might think of other choices as well if you wanted to have more space for this. You can actually simply close the test bot, and when you want that pane back, you can click Test Your Body again, and it comes back. So we have a hide test button down here. So now that I've identified a few of my trigger phrases, and I would identify more and more, I want to reply to these trigger phrases with a message go to Authoring Canvas. My topic itself is being saved, and here are the trigger phrases. If I wish, I can edit them by going back to the details page. But what is the message that I want to provide in response to any of these trigger phrases? Sweatshirts are available in the following colors. And I'm going to create a list, just a bulleted list. Black with white lettering. Navy with white lettering. Gray with black lettering. That's it. Now, after I provided this information, I want to ask them a question, so I'm going to click the Add Node button and choose Ask a Question. And my question is, would you like to order a sweatshirt now? And I'm going to change the name of this variable to order sweatshirt yes, no. Order sweatshirt yes, no. Cool. And then what are my options for the user? Well, we're going to have a Boolean variable, and I have my trigger phrases, my message, and my follow-up question. I'm going to save my dialog. I'm going to test my bot. So, shirt colors. Sweatshirts are available in the following colors. Would you like to order a sweatshirt now? Yes, no now to see what's going on here on the right as I do this. Notice that it proceeded all the way through all of these choices for my trigger phrase. Let's test another one sweatshirt colors. And it very quickly hit my second action here, which was the message, presented it, and then dropped down to the question. This allows me to see the workflow within my topic, and I'm going to choose yes. And now that value has been saved here in this topic. I would extend this topic then to allow the user to actually place the order or check the inventory. But all of that is beyond the scope of our time together. In a very short period of time, I can create a dialogue with trigger phrases that my user would provide, messages and questions that I offer in response.